wave coming. Keep the tension, don't let him run. Keep the tension on the line. Watch the stern, pull him up. He's fighting hard. Synchronized pulls. Again, all together now. Pull harder, men, keep surfacing. Move. Pull, heave, ho. Keep the tension. Don't let it get away. Get the line secure. He's pulling hard. I've almost got the gap in. Watch the tail. Hold the line. It is too strong. Do not let it go. Hold fast, men. She's trying to break free. Don't let her dive. Secure the starboard rigging now. He's turning back towards the boat. Watch the tail, watch the tail. Hold fast, lads. Pull on the ropes. We need another gaff on the gills. Sink the hooks. I'm trying. Hold her steady. There she goes again. Hang on. Pull, pull. Heave now, lads. We've nearly got him. Hold it steady. Watch the line. She's fighting hard. Almost there. Keep heaving. Hold the line. He's pulling hard. I'm tightening the harness now. There she is, keep the tension. She's diving again, hold on. Lift it up now. Watch the tail, watch the tail. Push from your side. Eagle. Eagle. Pull harder on that line. I've almost got it secured. Hold him steady. Keep the tension on the line. I'm trying, she's fighting hard. It's huge, grab the ropes. Hold it, get the lever down. It's stuck. Wait, I got it, secure the clamp.
In the middle of the vast ocean, on the steel deck that was gently shaking with the waves, experienced European fishermen began the most important step after a long fishing trip, cutting up the giant grouper. The fish, whose size exceeded imagination, lay motionless on the cold steel table, its massive body still filled with salty vapor, under the harsh white light shining on the watery deck. Each sharp blade was pulled out, reflecting cold rays of light. The sound of steel hitting steel, the sound of the knife cutting through the thick skin, the sound of seawater flowing along each cut combined with the deep sound of the engine to create a unique harmony of the seafaring profession. Fishermen in dark blue and red waterproof jackets, yellow bibs, white safety helmets and dark blue gloves, worked with absolute concentration. Each movement was
Watch the tail. Push down on this side. Hurry. 28 inches. Can you believe the size of this thing? Oh, absolutely staggering. We'll need a bigger boat. All right, let's get this side done first.
Strong but extremely precise. They turned the body of the giant grouper weighing hundreds of kilograms as if they had been doing this all their lives. The blade slid along the spine, separating large pieces of flesh, bright red and firm. Each cut piece fell on the steel table, making a dull sound, mixed with the wind whistling through the railing and the waves pounding steadily against the ship's side. Water from the high-pressure hose was continuously sprayed, carrying fish scales, blood and sea salt, creating a salty mist that obscured the surrounding light. The smell of the sea, the smell of metal and the smell of fresh meat blended together into a very unique flavor that only those who lived a life on the sea could understand. Their dark blue gloves slid rhythmically along the fish's body, holding it tight, turning it gently, opening each part in the white flow. Water. The giant head was separated with a heavy sound echoing on the steel surface. Thick slices of meat were lifted up, neatly arranged on the shiny stainless steel tray. Everything happened in absolute coordination. Not a word was wasted, only agile eyes, hand signals and strong breathing in the windy sea. When the last fillet was cut off, the deck echoed with the sound of strong water. The fisherman diligently cleaned the operating table, scraping off every last trace of the dissection, leaving a shiny silver steel deck under the lights. The work was over, but the mark of the giant grouper's size and strength was still imprinted in each proud gaze. This is the moment behind the offshore fishing trips, where skill, strength and experience become one. A process that only those who have spent their lives with the sea can fully appreciate and feel its value and harshness. Even after the butchering process on the steel deck was finished, the giant grouper's journey had not yet stopped. The giant fillets were lifted off the operating table. Each piece of pinkish white meat, thick and even, still shining under the thin layer of seawater. The European fishermen, in dark blue and red jackets, their yellow bibs still soaked with water, gently placed them on stainless steel trays lined up on the steel deck. The sound of metal trays hitting each other was clear. The sound of water from the faucet continued to pour, while the ship's engine vibrated steadily below, reminding that the ship was still floating in the open sea. Each tray of fish was washed one last time with clear sea water. The excess blood and bone fragments were removed with steady knife strokes. The white lights on the deck shone down, highlighting each smooth, tight muscle, showing the quality of the giant grouper that had just been butchered. The dark blue glove.
Slow the winch. Hey, slowing down now. Get the gaff ready.
boats were constantly moving, lifting, turning, arranging, checking, all in a rhythm that had become ingrained in the muscles and habits of those who had worked at sea for a long time. From the deck, the stainless steel trays were passed down to the cold storage through a half-open steel hatch, where a cold, white mist rose up, mixing with the salty mist outside. Each step on the metal steps echoed with a hollow clacking sound, mixed with the hum of the air conditioning below. Under the white fluorescent lights of the freezer, giant grouper fillets were neatly stacked on racks, with cold air constantly blowing through, keeping their freshness locked in from the moment they left the fish. On deck, the European fishermen continued the cleaning process. Sawmills, decks, railings, every steel surface was scrubbed clean under the white water.
The beeps are accelerating. It is getting closer.
How close?
Too close. Steady on.
Water. The sound of a hard broom rubbing on steel. The sound of water pouring through the floor drain. The sound of waves lapping against the ship's side created a steady background, as if returning the deck to its original state, ready for the next catch. The bloodstains and traces of the dissection gradually disappeared, leaving only the white light reflecting on the wet deck, sparkling in the cold sea breeze. As the sun gradually set towards the horizon, the sky was dyed a pale orange. The fishermen were a little more leisurely, leaning against the steel railing looking out at the sea. They chatted briefly about the unusual size of the giant grouper, about the first pull that bent the rod, about the moment the giant fish's body rose to the surface of the water with the long whirring of the camera. The deep laughter mixed with the sound of the wind blowing through the white helmets.
Get ready, she's taking the line. Brace yourselves. Get over here, grab the harness.
The gauge is redlining.
I know, just keep the tension, don't let him break the line.
The sound of the cables lightly hitting each other, creating an atmosphere that was both tired and satisfied. In the cold storage below, the giant grouper was now just neatly cut pieces of meat, lying silently in the winter. But on the steel deck, the story of it was still hot, passing through every word, every nod, every sparkling look under the lights. It was not only a valuable catch, but also an unforgettable mark in the seafaring life of the whole group. A feat marked by sweat, ingenuity and perseverance in the middle of the fierce ocean. And when night fell, the white lights on the ship lit up in the deep black space. The engine continued to hum softly. The steel ship slowly moved towards the horizon. Out there, somewhere in the darkness of the deep sea, other giant groupers were still swimming. And
Pull harder, he's getting away.
I'm trying, Cap, the deck is slick. Watch the line.
Hold the line, don't let it run. It's too strong, grab the harness.
Hold the line steady, don't let it dive again. I'm trying, use the winch.
the journey of the European fishermen on this steel deck would still continue, with new encounters, new cuts of meat, and more stories told under the cold lights of the deck in the middle of the ocean. As the steel ship continued to cut through the deep night, the white lights on the deck cast long, trembling streaks of light on the water with each wave. The salty smell of the sea, the metallic smell of the deck, and the lingering smell of fish and meat created a unique atmosphere that only those who had spent their lives at sea could understand. In the resting compartment near the bow, the sound of the wind whistling through the cracks in the door mixed with the sound of the steel cables shaking gently in the wind, creating a steady melody of the night sea. The European fishermen, after a long day of struggling with the giant grouper, sat against the ship's wall, took off their worn blue gloves, and played.
Get the line, quick! It's too strong, we're losing it! Hold them steady, we're turning the boat!
I'm trying. This monster is pulling hard.
He's going deep, keep the tension! I'm giving it everything I've got, get ready to move!
Placed them on the steel table, revealing their hands rough from the sea salt and hard work. Some still recounted every moment of that adrenaline-filled battle, when the giant grouper struggled under the spotlight. When the fishing line was so tight that it was about to break. When the rod bent so hard that everyone held their breath. Loud laughter erupted from the vast expanse of the ocean, mingling with the sound of the waves as if they were applauding. Looking through the round window of the hold, white foam flew up with each wave, like traces of a proud day. On the aft deck, a few fishermen continued their last work before resting. They checked the dried stainless steel plates, hung up each sharpened knife, and locked the toolbox to avoid collision when the ship rocked in the night. The sound of the iron lock clanking echoed on the steel floor, blending with the deep sound of the engine.
Hold fast, don't let it take the line!
I'm trying. Brace yourself. Here it comes again.
Get the hooks ready, it's coming up! I got him! There, hit it now! Hold on tight, another wave is coming! I've got him, don't let go! Hold the
Creating a
tension, steady on the
strange
wind.
sense of security. The thick, damp ropes still smelling of the sea were hung up to dry, gently swaying in the cold wind as if breathing with the rhythm of the waves. Below, in the cold hold lit by white lights, trays of giant grouper meat lay neatly on steel shelves, the cold air wafting out like mist covering the surface of the fillet. The weight and processing time were written in permanent marker, a care for quality that seafarers always put first. The sound of the refrigeration compressor was steady, echoing far and wide like the heartbeat of the ship outside. The sky was getting darker and darker, only low clouds drifting by, reflecting the orange-yellow light of the ship's lighting system. Beneath their feet, the still wet steel deck reflected like a frosted mirror the image of strong, resilient.
Pull harder on those ropes. I'm trying. Watch the swing. Hold the line, pull it tight.
Watch the tail. Don't let it twist again.
We almost got it secured. Watch the tail. Get down now.
Figures. In this moment, the ship seemed to become a lonely fortress in the middle of the ocean, connecting people who were living a life that most of the world would never experience. Then, as the clock struck midnight, the waves calmed down a bit, leaving only the steady sound of the ocean's giant breath. A few fishermen stepped out onto the foredeck, leaned against the cold steel railing, and looked out into the distance where only a line of horizon blended into the darkness. They didn't say much, but everyone understood that every time they set sail, every time they faced the deep sea and giant fish, they took another step forward on their life journey, a journey that was both harsh and beautiful. The giant grouper had been neatly dealt with. The ship was safe again. But the spirit of the war was still there, like an echo that reverberated forever in the wind.
Make sure those hooks are secure.
Okay, lift it high and bring it over the hold. Steady now, take the tension. Lift it slowly. Copy that, lifting now. Keep it steady, watch the left side.
Clear the railing now.
Okay, hoist her up slowly.
Tomorrow, they would continue, because the sea waits for no one. And the great stories of the ocean are always out of sight, waiting for brave people to come forward to continue writing. The night at sea always has a mysterious beauty that only those who stay up all night on the journey have the chance to see through. When the last work on the deck has subsided, the steel ship lies still in the sighing sound of the waves, blending into the vast ocean. Against the deep black sky, the clouds drift slowly, reflecting the dim yellow light of the ship's lighting system, creating patches of light and dark like incomplete paintings of nature. Under that light, the European fishermen, their bodies tired but their spirits still burning, slowly clean up everything. The dark blue gloves are placed side by side on the steel table, damp and a little frayed at the fingertip.
Pull it this way, watch the tail.
As evidence of a hard but proud day's work. On the steel deck, the dry cuts, salt water stains and boot prints along the walkway have not yet been erased by the sea breeze creeping through every crack. Those sturdy men, with their faces sunburned by the sun and wind, leaned against the railing, letting their eyes wander into the endless space, letting their thoughts drift with the sound of the waves. Some recounted the long journey of chasing the school of fish. Some mentioned the strong struggle that bent the fishing rod as if it was about to break. And some just kept silent, letting this moment speak for itself: pride, fatigue, gratitude and the smallness of humans before the ocean. In the cold compartment below, giant groupers, once a powerful force in the deep, were now carefully preserved, becoming precious products.
Hold on tight, we got a runner. It's huge. Don't let him get to the reef. Keep the pressure on. It's too strong. Hold on, man, just a little longer. Keep the tension.
Driven by the sea, the cold white light covered the large trays of meat, highlighting the clarity and perfect quality of each piece of meat. The cold smell of metal mixed with the sweet smell of the sea, creating a very unique atmosphere. The atmosphere of harvest after so much effort. On the deck, the chatter had died down, leaving only the sound of the wind passing through the cables and the relentless sound of the sea. Everyone found a corner to relax. Some sat down on the deck, leaning against the steel tank still warm from the engine. Some looked up at the night sky, listening to the sound of the sea, as if listening to the teachings of those who had gone before. In the middle of the ocean, strength lies not only in the hands, but also in perseverance, team spirit and respect for nature. The ship still moved slowly, cutting long grooves on the sparkling black water.
Heave! Pull harder! He's fighting back. Don't let it go. Hand me the gaff! Hurry! Right here!
Each passing wave was a story carried away. Each rising steam was a part of the memory left on the deck, where those people had fought, cut, sliced, worked day and night. And somewhere under the deep water, other giant groupers were still swimming slowly, strong like ghosts of the ocean. They know that tomorrow, the day after, or many weeks from now, they will stand here again, amidst the sound of wind, waves, engines, the smell of salt and steel, to continue the tireless journey they have chosen. That drifting life is sometimes harsh, sometimes empty, but each time they pull in a giant grouper, each time they neatly butcher it on the steel deck full of noise and light, they know they are living fully with the sea, with their profession, with their passion. As the night settled over,
He's on the hoist, watch the sway! Bring it up another meter! Heave! Secure the lines now! Watch the tail, lads! Get it tied down! Alright, let's get this beast into the hold. Careful now, we earned this one. I'll grab the straps.
the sea. The hustle and bustle of a hard day's work was slowly replaced by a slower, more subdued rhythm. In a corner of the deck, near where the giant grouper had been butchered that afternoon, the white light was still on, but the constant movement of knives and forks was gone. Instead, there were a few crates, a clean steel table, a few drops of seawater still lingering, and the faint tingling of the cable hitting the side of the ship every time a big wave passed by. This familiar scene might not seem like much to outsiders, but to the fishermen, it was like a semicolon between two chapters of the journey, one chapter just closed, another waiting to be opened. In the cockpit, the green and blue control lights reflected on the captain's tanned face. He checked the route, speed, weather forecast, quietly considering whether to stay.
That's 310 centimeters. Got it. Weight confirmed at 400 kilos. How long is it? 2.5 meters. The markings here are unique. Look at the size of this one. Biggest we've seen all year. Get the shot, boys.
Stay in this area for a while longer, or to turn to another sea area, where the sonar had recorded the shadows of other giant groupers. The radio echoed a few short exchanges, the steady beep of the radar like an invisible clock measuring the rhythm of the night sea. Here, every decision was associated with risk, big waves, strong winds, equipment, fuel, human strength. But the results, like today's giant grouper, made all those calculations worthwhile. Behind the ship, the water was torn by the propeller into a faint streak of light, White foam bubbled up in the darkness and then disappeared. If one listened carefully, one could feel the very low roar of the engine like the heartbeat of the ship. Always regular, persistent, without complaint, without ostentation. It is the silent friend of the entire crew.
Look at that. The cranes are ready for the giant grouper.
Best catch of the year, maybe the decade.
Taking them to where the fish are, bringing them back to their families, and witnessing every confrontation with the giant creatures of the deep. In the break room, several sets of dark blue and red jackets. Yellow bib pants are hung up to dry. Black boots are neatly lined up next to each other, under the soft yellow light, looking like a line of people ready to step out onto the deck again tomorrow. Some people spread out old maps, draw a few dots, note down the spots where giant groupers were caught. Compare with last year, last season. Those scribbles, those hastily written symbols are the memory map of a lifetime at sea, where each point is not only a coordinate, but also a story about storms, luck, almost losing everything, and even victories. The giant grouper, from a name that sounds so powerful.
Check the weight on this one, it's enormous. Logging it now, came in at 300 kilos.
Full has now become neatly trimmed pieces of meat, ready to continue the long journey through cold storage, crowded trucks, fish markets, restaurants, and dining tables. But on a deeper level, for these fishermen, it is also a milestone to measure themselves. How did they handle it today? How did they coordinate with their brothers? Did the equipment work as expected? Is there anything they need to learn from to face an even bigger, more stubborn one next time? Out there, the black water surface is calm but not at all calm. Under the waves, the world of the seabed still operates according to its own rules, where large rocks, deep caves, and coral reefs are home to other giant groupers. The fishermen on the deck understand one thing very clearly: they do not own this place. They are just
A solid contact, bearing 040. Confirmed. Looks like a big one. We must set the lines deeper, near the eastern ridge.
Yes, the Camus Anglo are definitely holding there.
I agree, we will use the heavy tackle. Over there, 12 o'clock. See the birds? Yeah, hang on tight, we're moving in.
temporary guests, coming and going, trying to take a part of the product without breaking the fragile balance of nature. So, each time they pull up a giant grouper, each time they put the first blade on the fish's body on the steel deck, they always bring with them both respect and a feeling of silent gratitude to the sea. And then, amid the steady background sound of machinery, waves and metal, there is a very small but beautiful moment, when everything is cleaned up. A fisherman steps out to the boat, pulls up his coat collar, takes a deep breath of the cold sea breeze, and smiles to himself. No one applauds. There are no spotlights. Just the sky, the ocean and the steel ship with the scratches of time. But it is these quiet moments, together with the image of the giant grouper neatly cut on the deck, that create the feeling of worth living that no other place can give them.
Got it well within the limit. Look at the size of this one. Absolutely massive. Get the shot.
Look at the size of that Camus Khổng Lồ. He must be nearly 300 kilograms.
As the sky gradually descended into the deepest towers of night, the sea became so still that it was almost surreal. The light steel ship rocked with small waves. No longer the violent rocking of the day. The space around the deck seemed infinite, except for the sound of the sea breeze blowing through the railing and the steady hum of the engine, like the slow breathing of a giant sleeping creature. In the pale yellow light from the few remaining light bulbs, the remaining water stains on the deck shimmered, recalling the sharp blades that had grazed the body of the giant grouper that afternoon. At the back of the boat, two fishermen still sat, not saying much, each holding a cup of hot coffee in their hands, the only thing that kept them awake in the cold, damp night sea. They looked out into the vast darkness, where an hour ago, just one wave higher than normal.
Push now, keep it moving. Harder, then stop. Okay, it's secure.
Confirm, let's close it up.
Camus Khổng Lồ nearly pulled me overboard, I swear.
It was huge, maybe 200 kilos.
But we got it right here.
Normal would have been enough to lift the entire deck. Thin wisps of mist drifted by, carrying with them the distinctive smell of salt, metal, and engine oil, creating a feeling that was both familiar and wild. One shook his head slightly, smiling inexplicably, as if he was still amazed by the size of the giant grouper. In the engine room, the deep sound of the engine continued like a never-ending song. It was the heartbeat of the boat, a sound that sailors had grown so accustomed to that without it, they would feel uneasy. Interspersed with the sound of the engine, one could hear the slight vibration of iron chains, the sound of water hitting the hull, and sometimes the strong wind sweeping through the gaps between the tanks. All of this blends together to create a symphony of the ocean, fierce, but also very peaceful for those who have chosen to stick with the sea. In the small kitchen, the yellow light shining.
Look at the side of that one. Biggest I've seen all season.
Incredible. The scales on that grouper are huge.
Look at the size of that grouper. The data says it was over 300 kilograms.
Incredible. I've heard the legends, but seeing the data makes it real.
Our findings on the Camus Khổng Lồ confirm they are most active in these specific zones, particularly during the lunar cycle's peak.
On the steel wall creates a surprisingly cozy atmosphere in the salty cold. A few other fishermen are sitting and eating a simple supper, bread, canned meat, hot soup. The sound of knives touching stainless steel bowls. The sound of spoons stirring gently, small laughter. All of it sounds simple but precious. Not everyone sees the dark side of the sea profession. The simple.
Remember the giant grouper we fought out there? The Camus Khổng Lồ. That was a fight, all right.